Yo, 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 what's going on, Pickpocket Podcast? We got UFC 298 this Saturday. We got predictions for you guys. 6 fights to talk about with you guys that we really like for this card. What's good, Bart?
UFC Anaheim finally getting out the motherfucking Apex. Save me. I be watching these bitches start to finish. They're
Oh, bro.
7 hours long. Come on. Yeah, finally something with an atmosphere, with a crowd. Getting back to,
Yeah.
reviews and shit.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a good one, too. It's a good card,
Yeah,
man.
great card. Man, let's start off. Amanda Lemos versus bitches. Mackenzie Dern. She's fine as hell, but baby, you can't strike for nothing.
Let's talk about it. You're right. Let's talk about it, man. Amanda Lemos versus Mackenzie Dern. Amanda Lemos, man, she's 13-3 with one draw, 36 years old. ATKO wins, 3 submission wins as well. She could finish. You know what I'm saying? She's a good striker, and she sometimes gets the submissions. She's 3-2 his past 5 fights, but her last fight, man, she got whooped by Wei Lee for the championship fight, and I mean whooped. And it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close at all. Like, before that fight, though, like, Amanda Lemos was, like, low-key climbing up in her division. Like, she was getting some good wins, but the last fight did not look good at all for Amanda Lemos. Mackenzie Dern, though, she's 13-4, 30 years old. She has 7 submission wins. She's 2-3 in her past fights. But her last fight, Mackenzie Dern had, she lost to Jessica Andrade, and she got her ass beat as well. And I mean beat. Like, wow. Like,
I was
whoa.
in Vegas. You ruined my fucking parlay in Vegas, bitch. I ain't never betting on you again. Fucking bitch.
Oh my god. Gee. But yeah, I mean, but what Bart said, man, like, just how Mackenzie Dern, how she looked in her last fight, she did not look good at all. Like, it like she was even on Jessica Andrade's level in her competition skill. So, I think I'm gonna go with Amanda Lemos here, man. Money line, just because she's the better striker in my opinion. Did she say like she's like a Muay Thai?
Yeah, she's a Muay Thai champion.
Yeah.
Muay Thai world class Muay Thai striker, Amanda Lemos. At first, I had her confused with Ribas, who isn't as good at striking. But then I was like, oh, this is Lemos. But man, she did just take a beating, like Sway said. Let me get into this fight. She did just take a beating against fucking Wei Li Zhang.
Mm.
I do think though, like, man, the way Mackenzie Dern lost her fight though against Andrade, they both lost to Andrade. One got submitted in the first round, one just got her ass beat throughout till she got knocked out. And like she was like Mackenzie Dern was literally sitting on her ass, like just had to be stepped up by the referee like 5 times, you know. I think the only reason this line is as close as it is because Mackenzie Dern's kind of fine and motherfuckers know her from that shit. I'm not trying to like shit on her too much, but they both also have a common opponent in Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez is raw as hell. At the time she fought Amanda Lemos, she was 16-1 in 2. So, and Amanda Lemos finished her in the 3rd round. So, at first I liked this fight to go the distance, but then, I was like, fuck, I feel like Mackenzie Dern's finishable,
I feel you. She is.
I really like, and then I was like, fuck it, I think Mackenzie Dern will at least be able to keep close throughout the fight, but, man, the way she lost had me thinking, like, fuck. So it was a tough fight for me to pick. Ultimately, I'm going with Lemos, minus 135. Got odds right here. I think they're decent on DraftKings right now. Man, if you do think Mackenzie Dern will somehow get a takedown, her takedown accuracy isn't great. It's like 20%. Like, it's under 20%. And you think she's going to keep it close somehow after the way she just got beat. Maybe because Lemos might be recovering from her beating against Wei Li and will be a little hesitant. Maybe she'll come out and lose a round. That plus 3.5 on DraftKings is out there at minus 140. But I do like Lemos money line more here. That's just for people who think it's going to be a close fight. Women's fights are usually a little closer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what Bart said. I like Amanda Lemos a lot more, but we could also take those props as well. Those are good props for this fight, man. That's about it. That's what you got for this fight, man?
That's all I got for that one.
Yes, sir. That's what we got for that fight. Let's move on to this next fight. Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yes, man, this Russian guy, he's a killer. But this Anthony Hernandez guy, he's pretty good too, man. Let's talk about him. He's 11-2, 30 years old, two TKO wins. He's not a much of a striker or finisher, but he has 7 submission wins. He's 4-1 in his past 5 fights. He's more of a jiu-jitsu guy. You know what I'm saying? He goes for the submissions. He goes for the takedowns, the ground control, and all that other stuff. But this Roman guy, man, this Russian Roman, he's 12-2, 32 years old, 11 TKO wins. This guy is a finisher. He's a good striker. He's 4-1 his past 5 fights as well. His last 4 fights, they were all by finishes for Roman. So this guy can finish. This guy is raw. The thing is, can Roman defend the takedowns against Anthony Hernandez? Roman, he's known for having some great takedown defense. His takedown percentages is up there, for him as a fighter. But
92%
yeah,
takedown defense.
yep. And can Roman make it his fight? Can he make it his fight? Keep it standing up. Use his great striking ability that he has. You know, leg kicks, jabs, do what he has to do to get the win. And I think he can. I like him on DraftKings. This is pretty cool, guys. DraftKings, they have plus 3.5 Roman. I like that as well. But I also like Roman just to win. You know what I'm saying? Like Anthony Hernandez, he's good with the takedowns and all that stuff. But I think Roman is gonna do good on defending him and making his fight. What you think, Mark?
I I love Roman the plus 3.5 prop on DraftKings. But man, it is gonna be his real first test because let me just go through the last opponents. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez has fought. He finished Edmund Shabazian third round with TKO elbows after just grinding out. Shabazian was winning the first part of the fight too, and he even had his own submission attempt in the fight. He even got his own takedown against this guy. But man, Anthony Hernandez has this fight style where he knows his chin is like good enough to where he can take some shots and he'll try to tire the guys out by going for takedowns, shooting a lot in the fights. He averages 7 takedowns a fight every 15 minutes, which is pretty impressive. But that also means that a lot of motherfuckers can get up from his takedowns since he has to shoot for them a lot.
I agree.
He's got good names though. Like I said, they got a common opponent in which they beat. Anthony Hernandez beat him by unanimous decision. He was able to get 8 takedowns. Josh Fremd and Kopilov was able to finish him with a liver shot. He also beat Marc-Andre Barriat, who just had a close fight with Chris Curtis, and he beat Rodolfo Vieira, who just won last week and submitted Ivan Petrosian. Man, it's tough. I could see why the line is jumping so high for Anthony Hernandez here. He's minus 260 now on DraftKings and plus 210 for Roman Kopilov. But I do think it's underdog or pass here. I think it's going to be a close fight. But if you're hesitant, I do think it's going to be close enough to where you could take that plus 3.5.
I agree.
Plus 120 and over 1.5 minus 165 right now.
Mm-hmm.
DraftKings. I like both those. I think Kopilov is good enough to stuff the takedowns. Like we said, he has 92 takedown % accuracy. He beat Josh Fremd, who has decent grappling. He was able to stuff his takedowns. We watched some tape on him, and we just think either or it's gonna be a close fight. I like the plus 3.5 the most on DraftKings. Plus 120, it's plus money, and I like the fight basically to go the distance too. Since I'm saying
Yeah.
not the distance, but plus 1.5. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Over 1.5.
Yeah. What Bar said, I definitely agree. I like the plus 3.5 for Kopilov as well, the most. If you want to take the better odds, plus 198 or plus 200 for Kopilov money line to win straight up, I like that too. But I like the fight to over 1.5 rounds. I like that as well. That's what we like for this fight, guys. This one's going to be a good one. I'm interested to see this one. But, yeah.
Man, I hope Kopilov gets it done just because we kind of seen him.
Yeah,
We've seen him rise up. And,
Yeah.
He's established in kickboxing. Man, that plus 3.5 and that money line, they both sound good to me.
I definitely agree, man. Let's move on to the next fight. Merab versus Henry Cejudo. Merab, he's 16-4, 33 years old. He's 5-0 in his past 5 fights. I mean, he beat Peter Yan his last fight, I believe,
Yeah,
right? Beat
that
Peter
was a
Yan.
whole damn near a year ago.
Yeah,
That was in March 11th, 2023. So
it's been a minute.
it's been 11 months since that fight.
Before that, he beat Jose Aldo as well. I mean,
Boring ass
that
fight.
was a boring fight. But that Peter Yan fight versus Merab, that was a great fight. He showed that he could strike as well. You know what I'm saying? Against Peter Yan, like a great striker that he is, that was really impressive. Um, let's talk about Henry Cejudo, though. Henry Cejudo, 16 and 3, 37 years old. You know, double champ, former champ, Olympian wrestler, all that other stuff. But this is what's interesting as well too. Merab, he has a 4-inch reach advantage against Henry Cejudo. Don't you think it's gonna be hard for Henry Cejudo to like go after those strikes that he wants? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, it's gonna be hard for Sudo. The only way he's gonna be able to land shots is if he gets in the pocket and is willing to trade with Marab. And it's not like Marab. And I feel like Cejudo will win around here. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think the fight's gonna be close enough to where he wins around because of his ability to know that Marab isn't too much of a knockout artist, and he's gonna be able to absorb some of Marab's shots, if that makes sense.
Mm.
But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I think it's gonna be hard for Cejudo at range to find Marab, to find some strikes on Marab. But Cejudo's a veteran, and I think he'll adjust and be like he'll be able to get some shots in the pocket. He'll like earn the clinch or something.
For sure. All right, bet for sure. I mean, Merab also did say too that he's not too focused on wrestling with Henry Cejudo, like great wrestler that Henry Cejudo that he is. So we might see some strikes coming from Merab. But who knows? A lot of people say that and they end up going, going the safer route for the takedowns and the wrestling, the clinch control on the gate, like we see Merab did before against Jose Aldo. So listen, man, Henry Cejudo, he also said if he loses, he's gonna walk out of the UFC. This is his last shot going at the title. I don't see it, man. I think it's time for Henry Cejudo to hang it up. I got Merab. Merab to win minus 250 money line. I also think he wins by decision. Merab by points minus like 110, I believe, right now. FanDuel. What you thinking
I
for this
think
fight?
I think the safe bet is Marab, but I like on DraftKings again the plus 3.5 for Henry Cejudo, minus 145 right now. It just seems like I just think Henry Cejudo is a good enough of a veteran to stay in there, but man, like there was a point brought up, and it just seems like Marab is more of a hungry fighter at this point in their career. Henry Cejudo is focused on his YouTube channel. He's doing well with it too.
Yeah.
It's just Cejudo's age that kind of bugs me. It's like, man, I feel like he's still got something left in the tank. But he's doing these stupid ass skits on Embedded where he's firing his coach, but it's really just a prank. It's like, how focused are you?
That's
Cejudo?
facts, though.
It was a close fight against Aljo. I mean, I don't think he should beat himself up about losing to Aljo. But man, yeah, I think Cejudo keeps it close. I do see this fight going the Aldo way, the Aldo route. Except I think Cejudo will find enough shots to like actually win some of those exchanges against defense.
I feel you.
Because I think Marab will get maybe like a couple takedowns, and he's gonna keep shooting. He's gonna have like 30 takedown attempts this fight, 25 takedown attempts. But I think Cejudo's gonna stuff a lot of them and get some damage, and that'll win you some points on the scorecard.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely agree with Bart.
I think it's gonna ultimately like I see it going the distance. The distance prop isn't really worth it. It's like minus 300. But I think Cejudo steals around and it's plus 3.5 Cejudo. I think Marab, just because Marab's such a heavy favorite now, I think that's what I'm going with. If you're gonna single bet,
For sure. So you basically thinking this fight's gonna be super close. It could be a split decision.
no, not split decision. I just think Cejudo's gonna definitely win around.
Win around. Okay.
Win around decisively, but then Marab's gonna go back to technique, shooting after the takedowns, and You know,
Bet.
it like a clear win for Marab. I do think Marab's gonna win -225. Just if you want some better odds, +3.5. I think Cejudo can definitely make it close.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that because it's Henry Cejudo. It's not like he's an old ass bum. You know, he
Yeah.
still got something left in the tank, like you said. I agree with you. You got anything else for this fight, bro?
That's it. Yeah, I mean, there's not much value in anything else here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's about it for this fight, guys. Move on to this next fight. This one's gonna be interesting. Jeff Neal versus Ian Gary. Neal, he's 15-5, 33 years old. ATKO wins. You know, he's more of a boxer fighter in the UFC. He is 2-3 his past 5 fights. But you gotta look at who Neal fought and lost against, man. You know what I'm saying? He fought Wonder Boy, fought Neil Magny, Vicente Luque, Shavkat. Those are some tough opponents in the welterweight division. I can't knock Neal like that. But Ian Gary, on the other hand, Ian Gary, he's 13-0, undefeated, 26 years old, 7 TKO wins. He's a little taller. Ian Gary, he's 6'2", Neal's 5'9". You know what I'm saying? He's a little, I think, not much longer when it comes to reach, but he kind of does look like a longer fighter, though,
Yeah.
compared to Neal. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But,
Neal's more stocky.
yeah,
Like you've seen that in the Magny fight, the difference. Magny is tall as hell, though, to be fair.
But, man, Bart, what you think about this fight, man?
Man.
This was tough.
It's tough because, man, Neal beat Luque, and it's like, it's kind of tough because which version of Neal are you going to get? So, are you going to get the one that, lost to Neil Magny, or are you going to get the one that beat Vicente Luque, so much that Luque had literally brain damage after that fight.
Yeah.
That
Fuck,
shows,
man.
It was crazy. But look, he really kept it close against Shavkat Rakhmonov.
He did.
And honestly, man, I do think Ian Gary wins a decision here, but I'm going with man. I'm going three in a row here, +3.5. Jeff Neal, close ass fight. This one I see being closer than the Cejudo and Merab fight, just because I don't think Ian Gary's gonna be able to get a takedown, and Jeff Neal is a boxer, and Ian Gary's a striker, so we're gonna see who the better of them is. I don't mind a single bet on Neal, but I do think Ian Gary is what the UFC wants to happen. I think he's gotten a lot of hate, and I think it'll be like a win for all of MMA fans if he loses. But I do see him winning 29-28 across the board decision.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with you, Bart. If it goes to points decision, I won't be surprised if UFC pushes him. You know what I'm saying, to get that win and shit. You know what I'm saying? He is kind of rising star right now. Star in the making.
And it's like the way he's been winning.
Yeah.
To be fair, he's been he fucked Neil Magny up so bad. He should have finished him, in my opinion. But he also knocked out Daniel Rodriguez, tough as nails.
Yeah.
To really take out of there. So yeah, that's ultimately why I'm going with Gary. But it's his first big test.
Yeah.
I think the odds should be way closer. But if you like Jeff Neal and the money line sounds good too, I don't blame you for picking that. Ultimately though, +3.5 safe side with this one on DraftKings. -105 odds for the +3.5. Basically that means a fighter, all three judges have to be 29-28. Your fighter can't lose by more than 3 points on the scorecards.
Yep. Yeah.
So if he wins all 3 rounds, it's a win too. If he wins by knockout or submission, then it's a win too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, this one's tough, but man, Neal's such a good fighter, man. And like you said, we don't know what kind of fighter he's gonna show up. Would you be surprised though if Neal wins? Would you be shocked?
No, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I feel like if he does win though, it's gonna be he would knock Gary out. He'd win him by it being a real good striking battle, and Neal just lands the better punches out of the two. But he'll definitely take some too.
And they also been having a little drama. Do you know what it is? What was all that about?
So Ian Gary made t-shirts of Jeff Neal's mugshot, and he started selling him on his website.
But this is before the fight was even booked, right?
So the fight was booked and then it got canceled. And now
that's right.
They're finally fighting again. So Jeff Neal is hungry as hell to get this win.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to. I'm like so hesitant to pick him as the underdog, but the more we talk about it, the more I like Neal because of all this. But I do think if it goes to decision,
Yeah, like
Paddy Pimblett, Jared Gordon
type of shit.
type shit. You know,
Mm.
even going as far as like that to make. Because like I feel like Ian Gary started this, and now he's like really hated. So if he did win a close ass decision, that would against a guy like Neil, who's really not a champion, but he's beloved by the MMA community. That would make Gary be like the next Covington for real. You know, like
Yeah, type
hated.
shit. Yeah.
You know,
But yeah.
he knows how to build his persona. That's one thing I'll give him, Gary.
Yeah, man. I mean, this one's tough, but for me personally, I'm gonna just go with fight to go the distance -102. I can't pick a winner for this one. Yeah, man. That's what I got for that fight. But you got Neo plus 3.5, right?
Neil plus 3.5. I like fight to go to distance too. Neil plus 3.5 only on DraftKings at -105 right now.
Bet. That's what we got for that fight, guys. Let's move on to the next one, the co-main event. This one's tough, man. Robert Whitaker versus Paulo Costa. Whitaker, he's 25-7, 33 years old, 10 TKO wins, 5 submission wins. His last loss, though, man, or his last fight that he had, he lost to Duplessis. He's a champion now. He beat Sean Strickland, Um, and it was kind of shocking. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect that to Whitaker to smoke like that. And he's going up against Paulo Costa. I mean, he's big, kind of like Duplessis a little bit, maybe
Yeah.
even bigger if I want to say.
Yeah, shit. I mean, they're
You know what I'm
both
saying?
big ass, motherfuckers for sure.
This was tough, but Costa, man, he's 14-2, 11 TKO wins. His last fight, Costa had, he beat Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold, come on, let's be honest. He's an old guy that hasn't been in the UFC.
And then lost to Mike Perry and bare knuckle.
Yeah,
so like that, there's not much stock in that win, you know.
Yeah, and like Costa, he's been inactive. He hasn't really fought as much in the recent years. Fights getting pulled out and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, the fight before he had Luke Rockhold, he lost to Marvin Vettori. You know what I'm saying? And that's tough. But I forgot to tell you this earlier. I would say Costa, he was rocking Marvin, but Marvin was eating them.
Because Marvin got a fucking chin.
Exactly.
Granted, that motherfucker made of steel, dude.
So the question is, can Robert Whitaker eat those shots, those big shots? Because it's coming, bro. Like, those shots might be coming to Robert Whitaker. Can Robert Whitaker be smart, circle around the ring and shit, like, just to make it go to points, do some leg kicks, do his own thing.
It just feels like, as much as I want to pick Costa here, it just feels so stupid to do so.
Right?
But, like, the matchup is, like, if Robert Whitaker at least had a close fight with Dricus, it would have been a different narrative here.
Yeah.
I would have been, like, definitely all over Whitaker, no doubt about it. But, like, the fact that he got smoked from start to finish, and it was, like, the first time he ever got smoked like that, not even Izzy, even with the TKO, like, they both were TKOs, but I don't think he beat him up as bad, dude. Like, I don't know, like, it's, that Dricus fight made it so hard to pick. The Dricus loss for, Whitaker made it so hard to pick this fight because it's a similar matchup, kind of, except the awkwardness isn't there.
Right.
But man, Whitaker lost every second of that fight, and we got to see if his head's in the right space still for this fight, and if he can stuff these takedowns from Costa, who has 75% takedown accuracy himself in the UFC, then it's going to be a tough night out there for Whitaker, man. I hate, but I think it's so stupid to pick Costa because look, like he barely beat Luke Rockhold in my opinion.
Yeah, that was kind of close.
It was a clear win, but like there was moments definitely where Luke stung him with a shot, and he got tired out. Credit it was Salt Lake City, but I don't know. I think Whitaker, hopefully Whitaker gets back on track. That's what I'm gonna say. I think Whitaker either finds a double chance TKO or points. I don't think he gets a submission or anything like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. This one's tough. This one's really tough. Hopefully, we see the same old Whitaker that we seen before he lost to Duplessis. Because Robert Whitaker also fought Marvin, and he coasted all to 3 rounds by points. Just dominated all 3 rounds against Marvin for Robert Whitaker. So hopefully, we see that type of fighter that night.
It's like speed versus if Paulo's gonna go with the game plan of wrestling, and if he goes with the game plan of wrestling, Whitaker's a big dude himself though. Like, but we just saw it in that Duplessis fight
Yeah.
where the takedowns. But credit to Duplessis is now the champion, and the only two people Whitaker's lost to are Duplessis, who's now champion, and Adesanya in a championship fight.
That's facts. Yeah.
So
So, man, I'm going to go with Robert Whitaker money line. We're hoping he bounces back. It's tough though, but I also like fight to go over 2.5 rounds minus 138. That's kind of risky. It's basically kind of saying you got Robert Whitaker to win by points.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, basically, yeah.
but what you thinking?
I like I said, I like Robert Whitaker, double chance TKO or a decision. I don't know. I just think he's quicker than Costa, and that's gonna play the big role here. Like his
Facts.
speed advantage,
Mm-hmm.
And Costa does get tired. We've seen it in a lot of his fights. And Whitaker has a gas tank. I think the maybe the last fight for Whitaker was just a maybe off night at the office. I think he should have been a lot closer than it was, or maybe he underestimated
Duplessis,
Duplessis.
yeah. Yeah, man, but that's what we got for that fight, guys.
One more thing, it's not like Whitaker's 37. He's 33 years old, basically at the end of his prime. Still in his prime.
Mm. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, man, that's what we got for the co-main. This moves on to the main event. Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilya Tupura. Volkanovski, he's 26-3, 35 years old, a featherweight champ. You know what I'm saying? Tupura, on the other hand, he's first 14-0, undefeated, 27 years old. He's young. He's pretty good. He's a well mixed fighter. You know what I'm saying? He gets the takedowns, the knockouts, and all that. His last 2 fights for Ilya Tupura, he beat Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett.
Other than that, though, he just beat Jack Herbert. A good win, too, but it's
Yeah.
not.
And that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, does that resume impresses you? Does that does that suggest you to think like he's gonna be a great fighter like Alexander Volkanovski?
So the way he's beat the last two opponents, at least, man, like he does look like he's good at everything. But I picked Alexander Volkanovski
All
when
day.
this man was on 10 days' notice versus Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
You think I'm gonna pick against him now? Fuck no. Fuck no. I think Ilya taking the belt. I feel like I don't know. He's doing all these antics trying to sell the fight.
Yeah. It's
But
just,
that's all I think he's doing. I'm not buying into any of the hype. This is gonna be a tough test for Alex Volkanovski. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses a round. But the patience and the IQ of Alexander Volkanovski to go out in that first fight, almost beat Islam Makhachev, be the guy who's on top of Islam Makhachev, raining down those punches. I just think he's a different level than Topuria. But I do think that it could be, like Volk gains Topuria's respect, and even Topuria gets a couple more wins after this loss, and they fight again because it was, a decent fight. It's still a clear win for Volk, but a decent fight. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, I like Volk here all the way. I just don't see it. The only world I see Topuria winning is in a first round or second round TKO in which he just knocks Volk out somehow.
Yeah.
But I think Volk is just too patient. And I was gonna bring this up, man. Like the way Volk's outstruck every opponent so clearly. Like against Rodriguez, 66-40 with 7 takedowns. Against Holloway last fight, 200 to 127 strikes. Against Korean Zombie, 140 to 50 strikes. This guy is a guy who beat a world class boxer already in Max Holloway.
Yeah.
I'm sure Holloway might not have the ground game that or as Ilya, But Volk doesn't have to worry about takedowns here. He's proved it against Makhachev that he could stay up.
For sure. And the odds are just insane for Volkanovski. Like, yeah, I get it. He got knocked out by Islam, but come on. Give some fucking respect on Volkanovski. Minus 128, minus 125 money line. That's crazy to me.
That's insane.
That's crazy. This, like, honestly, guys, this is, like, the best odds we're ever going to get for Volkanovski right now.
So yeah, like you can thank Islam Makhachev for giving that knockout last
For real.
because that's the only reason these are so low. It's because he's coming off a knockout, and it is a pretty quick turnaround. But I think Volk's just a different type of beast. I said it in the video against the second fight against Islam.
Yeah, man. And he's having a full camp. You know, it's not like last fight against Islam. He had a full camp. This is a full camp. This featherweight champ. I think Alexander, he's gonna be locked in, man. He's gonna be ready to go. But what you think, Alexander? What do you think he has to do to get the win for
I
Tapiro?
think he knows. I think his game planning is so good. His strategy's always so good. Like I think he's gonna keep the distance. He's gonna give low kicks like hell in the first 2 rounds.
Mm.
And I just think he's going to stay out of range so because he knows the way that I've already seen interviews with Alex saying he already knows Ilya's only chance to victory is if he catches him somehow early.
Right.
But I think he's going to do those low kicks. He's going to mix in takedowns at the end of the second round. He's going to start mixing in takedowns, start of the third round. And then Ilya will have to worry about both because I do think he's going to get taken down easily. And when Volk takes you down, he doesn't just, lay on you. That's
Nah,
he does damage with the takedowns. He be in it.
He be on that, low key.
I mean, there is a path in which Ilya wins, and that's a TKO early, but that's the only way. And I think Volk's smart enough to stay out of Ilya's range.
For sure.
And it's not like, man, Ilya's acting like he's 5 inches taller. The reach is what? It's not.
It's not much. It's pretty much the same, bro.
Yeah, it's the same reach and the same height, 5'7" to 5'6". So people are acting like Volk is gonna. He only like. I feel like people only act that way because of how fucking stocky he's built. He's like so muscular at the same time, So, but no way Ilya takes him down. Volk's gonna mix in the takedowns. The leg kicks early are gonna be big because that's gonna make Topuria second guess about going into range.
But man, you forgot about something. I was gonna bring it up too. Those leg kicks, yes, because that's one of the things I was gonna bring up for Volkanovski. The leg kicks, he cannot shy away from that. He has to bring them bitches out all damn night, all 5 rounds if he's going 5 rounds. But that motherfucking jab for Volkanovski, he has to keep that jab in play all night as well. That jab, those low leg kicks, if he could do that damn near all night and keep that shit active like how he's been versus Holloway, Korean Zombie, I think he'll be fine, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the takedowns, like you said, though, like he got to mix it in. You know what I'm saying? He cannot keep this fight to a close fight. Yeah. He has to dominate or, like, the show, like, yeah, he won. Like, 3-2 at least, the show. It can't be too close.
Because, yeah, like, if he doesn't mix in the takedowns, it's going to look a lot like the first 2 Holloway fights, in my opinion.
Mm.
You see right? Yeah, that's... But, like, the way he mixed in that takedown against Yair perfectly, and I think though he had 7 takedowns that fight. That's gonna show that he is going for takedowns now, and he's mixing them up, and he's gonna be like, he's gonna cement himself soon as like the featherweight go. And I think this fight kind of does it too. It surpasses Aldo.
Yeah, man. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it, man. That's about it. Let's run it back real quick before we go. We got Amanda Lemos beating Mackenzie Dern. You also like...
I mean, if you think it's gonna be a close fight, it's a women's fight plus 3.5 on DraftKings for Dern. But I like Lemos a lot more money line.
Beating Mackenzie Dern. We both like Roman Kopylov money line, but we also like the plus 3.5 on DraftKings as well. This next fight, we both like Merab the Machine to beat Henry Cejudo, but Bart, he also likes Henry to keep it plus 3.5. So basically a close fight. I also like that as well for that fight. This next one, we both like fight the goal distance between Jeff Neal and Ian Gary.
Plus 3.5 there.
For Jeff Neal as well. Yeah. This next one, Robert Whitaker versus Costa. We both got Robert Whitaker. Do you like the over 2.5? I like the over 2.5.
I like over 2.5 here too. Yeah.
Okay, so we both got that, and we both got Azar Volkanovski, right?
Yeah,
We got Volkanovski.
This is the best odds you're ever gonna catch him at.
Take it.
Take it. Take it.
Take it. Let's get it, man. NBA All-Star this weekend as well. But come on, let's be honest, guys. We want the UFC. Fuck that shit. That's what we more focus on. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a good card. This is going to be a great card, man. Don't miss out. It's going to be a big weekend. Let's get it. Peace out, guys.
Peace out.